Hey y'all. So some of you may be curious as to what's going on lately. Why was there no Bald and Bonkers last weekend? What's going on with the radio silence? All this. A couple things are happening. Maybe you caught the little notice I posted about the next Franson Files episode. So I'm here to answer this real quick. I'm shooting this raw. No fancy backgrounds, no special effects, none of that. So, a couple things are going on. This next episode of Franson Files, I did intend for it to be the last. I really did. Because, I'll just say it. There's been some things going on behind the scenes that would have allowed us to produce shows on other networks, other streaming companies, on top of helping build our own. And Franson Files was serving as kind of the first tester. Being that was the case, I wanted to try to make this next one a little bit more cinematic. I mean, it's basically slapping together my story with everything I have so far in regards to the ET phenomenon, at least. So, what's going on with that? Well, I decided it's probably going to be best to break it up a bit. Otherwise, it's going to be insanely long. Just talking about, individual incidents has been producing videos over an hour. So you can probably imagine what's a cinematic, full-on saga, Specialist of the Strange saga would probably end up as. We were looking at almost 3 hours. So probably best to split it up. Let's see. And right now, the episode 6 is rendering. I'm going to try to get that out as soon as possible. Hopefully we've ironed out a couple of quirks that have been going on with the test runs, so it will come out on a lot cooler, a lot more professional looking. As for when further episodes are going to come out, I don't know. Because here's the second thing, and that's why a few things with the show and the company have kind of been put on pause. As some of you who've been following the main show may know, there's a baby on the way. My younger sister is actually expecting a little girl. She's due on the 5th of December. But, let's just say it, we anticipate it to be any day now. And because of the situation going on there, I've been on standby to basically just keep an eye on her, get her to the hospital if needed. There hasn't been a lot of issues with this child, aside from what you would expect with a pregnancy, but as those of you who've seen me in person can probably figure, my family doesn't exactly have a history with small babies, and let's just say a lot of the women who have carried a child from my bloodline ended up having some serious complications to where they needed to be in the hospital. So, right now, we're taking just all the precautions. Everything is going well. Baby's moving. Seems to have a preference towards Reese's and Doritos. So, she's gonna get along with her uncle. Anyways, because of the situation there, I'm gonna do what I can to try to help with the kid. Because, I probably shouldn't get too far into it while we're here. So, if any chance any of you happen to hear a crying baby in the background, that's why. There's not suddenly any dead children hanging around that I'm aware of. There shouldn't be, but this is me we're talking about, so you never know. Let's see. What else is there? Uh, let's see. Yeah, no, that's about it. So, Ransom Files is going to be a little extended, a bit longer, basically to tie the whole saga together and release some things I've never really had the courage to talk about until recently. And some of you have been following me for a while, or at least heard some of the updates I posted since I went to Orlando for GSIC, know that I had some updates. Star side that Miss Elena Denon, as usual, ended up validating, which was kind of scary, to be honest. It's refreshing because, if more than one person is coming out saying the same thing who don't really have too much contact with one another, then there's a higher chance of it being legit. In fact, when I heard the news, and just look at Elena's latest Star Nation video, and you'll know what I'm talking about. I'll try to get a link to that in the description so y'all can see. But it's the news regarding Talihara starting to switch sides ever since the Negamuk signed over to the Galactic Federation, which, as my son said, anticipated things would help and shift things ever since that happens, when they realized that the Sakaar aren't as much of a powerhouse anymore. In fact, one thing I left out of it was that my son even said, just wait for Elena. Basically, he told me that he knew that I'm still trying to seek some sort of validation system, some way to gather evidence with all this. So he knew that once Elena got the official word, then that would be it, at least for me. Some of the more skeptical-minded people out there, not so much, but one step at a time, right? With that news being validated, that also kind of hints at a couple other things I've been trying to keep on the down low, because it affects things on a much more personal level for individuals involved. And that's something that they and I need to work out before we try to do anything too public with it. But it also validates what my son said, that he highly anticipates the all clear is going to move forward, and I'm going to get to go home for a little bit. A little day trip. There's been a couple people who've asked if that meant if this body was going to end soon. It's like, as far as I know, it's not. Just going to go for a little family reunion. It's heavy. It's heavy. I know there's a lot of people saying that, Dakota, you're on Earth. You're Dakota. You're not who you were up there. That's the thing, though. I was trying to do this little saga series to try to explain that's not entirely true. I do still have an active part up there, even though I'm down here. Much more will be explained here very soon. So, but like I said, due to some personal matters, I don't know if we're going to do another Bald and Bonkers show this weekend. Just kind of playing things by ear. Chris managed to organize one good panel. I believe it's on the 16th. I'd have to double check the calendar. But a fun little panel that I think a lot of y'all may enjoy. Some of y'all may get spooked because you follow certain things almost religiously, but just keep an open mind. I wouldn't coordinate with certain individuals if I suspected they were bad people. Anyway, much love. Stay safe. Prayers for my sister, who is slowly starting to realize what she's gotten herself into. So anyway, I'll see y'all around. And if I don't hear from you, happy holidays. Be safe. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, stay warm. And do be careful on the roads. There's, a lot of slick spots out there. Yeah. Much love. I'll see y'all next time.